Hello, everyone, coming to you from my vehicle. So I'm going to tap on fear today, and I'm reading out of 365 Days to Embracing Forbidden Emotions, since requests have pittered out. So December 8th, and I this is one of my all-time favorite quotes, and it's so short and sweet, by Rumi. Move, but don't move the way fear makes you move. Like, move, but don't move the way fear makes you move. I mean, that's a mantra. What a mantra to carry with you. I'm going to move when I'm guided to, but I'm not going to move the way fear is wanting me to move. And that's something I've got. Hey, Barbara, you have to check in on that all the time. It's like, am I making this decision out of fear? It's like daily, throughout the day. Like, okay, is this decision coming out of fear? And I could tell you in the beginning, 9 times out of 10 it is. But then the more you get, acute to, oh, am I making this decision out of fear? Then you can pause and take a step back. And I was talking to a client yesterday, and I've said this so many times, and I swear it's true. It's learning to be like, live in a new way, to not have fear make the choices for you, to not, let life, you feeling like I've got to direct my life, to learn to allow life to move through you. It's a detoxification process. It's like taking the IV out of the arm. Because we're so enculturated in this culture to move out of fear. And even, I don't think it's done intentionally, but the personal development world, it's very much about, having fear actually move you. And again, I don't believe it's intentional, but that's the culture that we live in. So anytime in any way that we can go, am I moving out of fear? Then I need to pause and take a step back and tap, do whatever I need to do to allow guidance and direction to come to me. And that takes vigilance, for a while. And then I just believe if we don't stay attentive to that, the fear can take over again. So now I'll start over. December 8th, move, but don't move the way fear makes you move. Rumi. Words to live by. And this takes practice, right? If I keep this as a mantra, that's so funny that I said use it as a mantra, and I wrote it in here. As I keep this as a mantra in my life, I will notice when fear is running my show. When fear is in the driver's seat, it gains a lot of momentum if left uninterrupted, and then it has me in its grips with no end in sight. The bully feeds me a banquet table full of fear every chance it gets. It's often happening within me without my awareness of it. A way to attend to this is to simply set the intention to notice fear. If I'm so inclined, I can ask for help in noticing when the fear is active so I can attend to it. This soothes my nervous system, which allows better feeling thoughts to make their way up into my psyche. When I soothe my fear, I change the way I see things. I learn to notice the fear, but not allow the fear to be the energy from which I decide. I want to read that line again. I learn to notice the fear, but not allow the fear to be the energy from which I decide. Fear can still sneak back in and try to take over again. But the more I keep catching it and interrupting it, the less it rules me. Thought for the day, what if today I can notice, even just once, when fear is trying to get me to move? I can't speak enough for that. It's like just noticing the fear. Because I think still we think, oh, I shouldn't be afraid. Good luck. We're gonna, if you're in a body on this planet, you're gonna be subject to all the emotions. And this idea too, like we can eradicate fear, doubt, worry, despair, grief from our life. Like, I'm gonna eradicate it. I mean, that's the bully in the brain. Like, oh, I should be able to get rid of this. No, it's to notice it and not let it run us. And sometimes we're just going to let it run us over and over and over again. And that goes back to that term, conscious suffering, where we're catching ourselves in the act. We're not able to shift it yet, but we actually are in the process of shifting it because of the noticing. And then all of a sudden the day comes, like you notice it, you tap, you notice it, you tap, you notice it, you tap. And you keep taking a step back. I mean, you might have to do that 100,000 times. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, wow, I'm seeing this differently. I'm not letting fear rule me. So karate chop. Even though fear has been my master for so long, and I live in a culture that promotes it, unknowingly or knowingly, I choose to acknowledge my truth right now. Even though there is so much fear in the world right now, and fear is running most people's show, I choose to acknowledge this truth right now. Even though fear is its own pandemic, and it's huge, and it takes on a life of its own, I deeply and profoundly accept myself now. All this fear, all this worry, all this terror, all this anticipatory stress around what's going to happen next. And what if what's happening in the world right now and has been going on for a long time is actually an incredible opportunity to see the fear and to keep doing my best to unhook from it? What if that's how I can see what's happening in the world right now? All the fear, all the division, all the judgment, all the confusion. What if I could start to see this differently? And instead of losing my peace daily, I can start to go into the fear and see what's there for me. And what if by allowing the fear to be heard and seen, I actually start to soothe my nervous system and ultimately soothe the fear? And what if, with a calmer nervous system and soothing my fear, I now have access to the part of my brain that has creative solutions? And what if when I catch the fear, I can take a step back, tap through my fear to keep recentering myself? And I may have to do that a lot. But what if I can remind myself, I have an incredible opportunity here to soothe my nervous system, to keep interrupting the fear, and ultimately unhook from the fear so that I can move when I'm prompted to move from a centered, calm, and peaceful place. And if I'm not at least more centered, then I know it's just not time yet. And when it is, inspired action will come. So take a breath. Hope you found that helpful. And I always go with what comes. It just popped into my head about just the fear that that's all around. And fear grabs people, it grips people, and it gets people to make choices in their life that maybe aren't the best choices for them, one way or the other, whatever they are. And to know that whatever choices any of us make, when we're more calm and centered and peaceful, then we can get that, that impetus, the impulse to go, oh, now we become congruent with the decisions that we make. Lots to think about here, right? Right, Barbara? My gosh, it's really interesting. I was listening to a podcast this morning when I was driving into town, and it just had a lot to say. So you're so welcome, Connie. So great to see you. Noticing and redirecting, I need to focus on that. And it's so true. It's like, just, wow. It's not like eradicate the fear. Get rid of it. It's like, wow, I'm in fear again. Wow, I'm in doubt again. Okay, what if I can take a step back, tap, just do whatever I do to interrupt it, take a breath, and then see what comes to me. And it goes back to that move, but don't move the way fear makes you move. And I will tell you, I see a ton of that in the world right now, all over the world. Movement because of fear. And I just think it's not good for all of us. And if we all worked more on being calm and centered, how different could things be? So again, Barbara, great to have you here live. Connie, great to have you here live as well. And hope you found this helpful. And we'll see you back here tomorrow for day 18. Bye for now.